Is this on? Yes, I believe it is. First and foremost, I'd like to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving. I hope you guys are having a good time, and may God bless you and offer you everything that you desire and need, and help you, and may God help you achieve all of your ambitions and get all evildoers away from you and everyone around the world. Also, I'd like to give a quick shout out to everyone, and much love to all of you. And I'd like to remind you pretty quickly that we're only 5 subs away from the first 100, and I know we can do it. I believe in you guys. Today will be a special day because yours truly has become a juggalo since my watch-alongs with TWRP. Much love to all of you, my peers. But today marks a special day. It will be a JCW review, bro, because yours truly became a juggalo, bro. So without any further ado, let's get going on the review of Juggalo Championship Wrestling JCW Lunacy episode 59 review. It is the episode where the identity of the investor is revealed. So let's get going, shall we? Here we go. The show opens up with a locker room meeting, and Violent J reveals the investor is coming tonight. He reveals the identity, that it isn't Vito. Big shout out to you, Vito. You've been doing very great lately. Keep on doing what you're doing, and may God bless you, as well as all the members of JCW. Shout out to you, Violent J. Shout out to you, Jasmine. Shout out to you, Suicide Hotline Bling, and all of you have been doing very great lately. Keep on doing what you're doing. I wish you much more success to come. And after that, due to a bit of a recap of last week's episode, Vito confronts Stephen Flo about the incident that happened with cocaine. And pretty good segment in my opinion, and shows that both Stephen Flo and Vito, shout out to both of you, my guys, you've done a good job. That's the thing I liked about the show. I'll be talking about it later on, but I'll give a little hint. Is the format of the working wrestling show, the one that worked before and that was successful many years ago. And after that, we kick off the first match. Suicide versus Wolf. The match overall was pretty alright, time-wise. Not too long, not too short. The good time. And the winner was Wolf. Wouldn't surprise me knowing the size of the two. Also, now that I remember, wasn't Suicide a part of TNA's roster? Because I believe once I bought a game of TNA and I was like, who the hell is this guy? I do remember the name Suicide on a TNA game. You'll correct me on it if I'm not mistaken. It'll be much appreciated. Thank you all. And after that, we get to a Caleb Conley segment with Paige Collette. Easy, big fella. And Jeeves, his teammate. After that, we have the second match. A Hardcore Hell match. Congo Kong and Mr. Happy, a part of the Sinclair Monster faction, came into the ring, accompanied by Jasmine Sinclair, which, by the way, was looking easy, big fella, easy. Just joking, Jasmine. I'm sure you'll understand. Right here. Versus Willie Mack and Too Tough Tony. The match, in terms of time-wise, was pretty good, and the spots were pretty good, in all honesty. And the winners were Willie Mack and Too Tough Tony. Kudos to you, and you've done a good job. And after that, we get a vignette. Something that's been missing in today's WWE. Why aren't you doing those anymore? Oh, is it due to the greediness of TKO? Huh? Is that it? Or is Noseman team that much of an incompetent, that much of a morons that cannot book a proper show? Maybe a mixture of both, I suppose. And Kerry Morton From the looks of it, you can tell that the guy has like a similar gimmick to the older ones, like the reflection of perfection. If you remember, like a Mark Jindrak or like a Ravishing Rick Rude, the pretty boy type of character. But he does it alright, I'll give him credit, Kerry. Good vignette. And after that we get another Vito segment, which was pretty alright. And Vito, you've done a great job as being the protector for the investment. Kudos to you, and really proud of you, my guy. Let me know when your birthday's coming, I'll do an awesome on you, that's for sure. You'll be getting an awesome from me. And I believe now we're at the third match already. Matt Cross versus Ninja Mac. Which begs me to wonder, how is it possible that someone like a Matt Cross, who's like 45 years old, looks in pretty good shape, but you have mediocrities like Sami Zayn or like anyone of that caliber looking like a bunch of out of shape goofs? Even though he's on the indies, while you guys are in WWE making tons of money, stealing money from this company, from that company, while benefiting it absolutely nothing. Noseman's favoritism, I suppose. The match was kind of alright, and the thing I've enjoyed in this match is the interactions that Matt Cross had with the crowd. You've done a pretty good job, Matt, I'll give you credit. And the interaction that shows how much he doesn't have a thin skin like a majority of on today's modern roster. I'm pretty sure most of them would be crying, like I remember Nikki crying about the heat. You'll embrace it. You're playing a heel, you embrace the heat. It's plain and simple, my dear. You embrace the heat. Let's say I was like the idea I pitched on the TWRP character as a heel, I would embrace it. As an idea for a face turn, I would suggest like that the ego and all corrupted me, or like something that corrupted me and turned me into that heelish person, even though I was a face all along. Something like that as an idea. That's how you pitch a character change, for example. Not the just throwing random baby face out of nowhere. Heel turn sucked. No, that's not how it works, Noseman. And you should learn from it. After all, you were under Vince McMahon's learning tree. Make it make sense. Anyway, let's go back to that match. Overall, the interactions and both did a pretty good job, I'll say. And the winner was Matt Cross. Smart way to win, by the way. And also, I'd like to give a quick note about the commentary team that I pretty much enjoyed. Shout out to you too. You were like carrying yourselves like professionals. Something modern commentators from WWE should learn from. Huh? Wade Barrett and all the other jabronis. You should learn from it. The only two that are pros are like Booker T and Corey Graves. I'll give them that. But the others, whatever. And after the Matt Cross victory, we get to another segment of Big Vito being pissed about Jasmine Sinclair and her security not doing the job properly. But enjoying a bit of fun time, huh, Vito? Kudos to you, my brother. And after that, the zombies and their master, Barnabas the Bizarre, confront Vito. Which leads to another segment which was pretty enjoyable, and at least something that's been missing in today's WWE shows, for God knows whatever reason. Apparently, you were able to produce excellence 15 to 20 years ago, and even before that. Nowadays, you cannot. Make it make sense. I believe Caleb Conley and Jeeves interrupt Mito wanting to meet the investor. And preaching their like good values and in order to try to get on Vito's good side, which will lead later on to a match of Caleb Conley and Jeeves versus the Outbreaks, which are the zombies led by Barnabas the Bizarre. But before that, we have another bit of a reflecting segment when you have Stephen Flo reflecting on his decision about bringing cocaine to Vito and all, reflecting on Vito's proposal. Now we get to the fourth match, I believe. Caleb Conley and Jeeves versus the Outbreaks, which are the zombies, accompanied by Barnabas the Bizarre. Overall, the match was whatever, the usual tag team match stuff. However, the Outbreak wins, which Caleb and Jeeves, you disappointed Vito, you're gonna have some repercussions. And after that, before the main event, Violent J confronts Vito. Another segment, which was done pretty good by both of you. Shout out to both of you, my guys, and much love to you, and may God bless you both. And also another thing, that even like Violent J plays the role that he had in that segment very well. Big ups to you, my guy. And now already we get to the main event. And you have Officer Mike as the guest referee. And the main event opposes Cowboy James Storm, I believe was a part of TNA throughout most of his career, and Kerry Morton. The match was kind of alright, and the thing I've liked about Kerry Morton, yes, it is the usual kind of heel thing, but how can I say it? Throughout the match, you worked pretty smart, and I pretty much enjoyed the fans when they interacted with Kerry, calling them "You're a bitch, you're a bitch." Something in today's WWE, you cannot say that to a wrestler because they're too much thin-skinned snowflakes. They'll be crying. Grow a set. I remember back in the day, like Batista, if he got fans were booing him, he didn't care. He'd embrace it. Cena had fans booing him at One Night Stand in 2006. He didn't care. Edge had fans booing him. JBL, Lita had fans booing her during the heel thing with when she was around Edge. No, but how come those people can grow a set, but today's wrestlers no, I'm just playing a heel on TV. Don't pick on me. Crybabies. Overall, the match between Kerry Morton and James Storm was a pretty good match, and it's what was done in a great way when you have like a veteran working with a young guy. I mean, let me see, how old is Kerry Morton? I believe he can't be past 30. He's got to be like in his mid to late 20s. Let me see, Kerry Morton. Kerry Morton. Yes, 24. I was right. He's a pretty young guy, and the guy has potential to grow even more and become better throughout time. And how old is James Storm? Let me see real quick. I mean, he's got to be 48. Yes. And how come he didn't get signed to WWE? But you have a mediocre schmuck like Sami Zayn, Johnny Gargano, and all those other jabronis, even though someone like a James Storm, from what I was able to see, is more entertaining and way more talented than those could ever be. Make it make sense. And overall the match went alright, and Cowboy James Storm wins due to Kerry getting a bit too overconfident. You have a similar weakness with me, Kerry. Don't let it ruin you moving forward, my guy. Alright? So overall the show was pretty good, but now comes the best part. Big Vito the Don delivers a promo about explaining the development of the investors coming and all, as a show should be. Like, you have something, you do an explanation of the thing that's going to happen. Much like, I'll give you an example. When JBL turned from Bradshaw to John Bradshaw Layfield. Another example. he cut a promo explaining the character change or something that was relevant to the story, much like Vito did. Kudos to you. Before Stephen Flo shows up, and Stephen Flo standing up for his friend and all, which I appreciated and respected. Both of you done a good job, even though you were injured. You did show up. Kudos to you, Stephen. And which leads to Vito laying the smackdown on Stephen Flo. And now comes the best part. Vinny Roo shows up, bro! And he's the investor all along, bro! He cut a bit of a promo explaining that he's the investor and reminding that he was a part of the Attitude Era. And I know the neckbeards won't lie about him ruining WCW, even though WCW's downfall was a mixture of many parameters, and you won't see Vince Russo being mentioned in them. No, everything to blame Mr. Russo, even though Vince Russo, shout out to you Mr. Russo, understands the fundamentals of the business in terms of character, storytelling, psychology in order to make an entertaining wrestling show. Because the thing about Mr. Russo, he sees things from a TV writer's perspective as well as the viewer. He does not see the picture from a mark-minded person, much like a Fraud Levesque or like a Tommy Dreamer. Tony Khan should learn from Vince Russo if you want to make AEW an alternative. Because you have potential, Tony. If you treat it as a business and not as a hobby. But sadly, I want to give you a chance, but you only do too many matches, Tony. You do too many matches. Take templates from older shows that worked before, Tony. You are a pretty smart man, I believe. I mean, you run other businesses other than that, right? So, if those businesses are successful, there is no reason why this one isn't, Tony. I do not care if Noseman throws a temper tantrum or not. He needs to be humbled, and he needs someone to beat his ass in order to realize that this big-nosed cuck absolutely sucks. And Russo during the... I'll go back to the Russo promo a bit. Sorry, my guys. I was just explaining my points. I'm sure you guys understood that. And Vince Russo explains that there are things that are gonna change. And explaining that his relationship with Violent J and all done good once again. Something that makes sense, that has a continuation, rhyming with things that go around. That's what should be done. If you want to establish like a good entertaining wrestling show or any other type of show, when you narrate something, it has to have a correlation with the events. You don't start something and go to something else that has no rhyme or reason with what you started. Kudos to you, Mr. Russo. Kudos to you, Vito. Kudos to Violent J and all the members of the JCW. You guys have done a pretty good job. And I'll give you a good grade. I'll give you a 7 out of 10. Continue on this and you've earned yourself a fan in me. So overall, I think that's about it for today's JCW review, which occurred last night on the channel Psychopathic Records. Make sure to check it out and help them get more views too. And I'd also like to remind you pretty quick, if you like similar content, make sure to like this video, comment, share, and subscribe if you aren't subscribed already. Turn on the notifications, and also I'd like to remind you, we're only 5 subs away, and I believe in you guys. I know we can do it. So with that being said, I'll see you next time, and peace out.